One last time, boys. Alright, I've got to shoot this out super quick because I'm not here for long, so hopefully that helps me keep it brief. So, we're looking for P3. I think you do get the structure from the general raid plan, but it is just worth me talking about some stuff and keeping like a really razor thin sort of this is what you need to focus on at this moment, just so that we I don't know, just so that there's a condensed version of the sort of, Droughtness videos always being great explanations, but never great guides, not great for information retention or priority, right? So, boss lands, you guys come around, we come here, easy peasy. We've already seen all this shit, right? I'll bring the boss over to here, and Eloyne will sort of take her off me when Infest comes. I'll bury myself in the corner. We've got Ring of Peace, we've got Cap Totem, we've got Chaos Nova, we've got Ursouls. We have so much that when these ads come out, they should just be kind of safe, but do switch to them. Your priority when the ads do come out is to switch to the ads and just cleave back to the boss. They're such a like grim white point that it's totally fine to lose a bit of boss damage on priority there. Melee, ideally, as this thing says, you want to be standing towards the edge of the circle when the swirlies are coming out, and I'm sort of standing there, and then move back around to the boss, just so that way the area under the boss is clear for the stuff coming. Ranged, you've just got to stay back. We had a pull, obviously, where some range drifted in. Just stay back, bait them as far back as you can, and then come in. Once the ads are sort of clear, that's the shit I've already talked about. Once the ads are clear, we go into the Queen's summons after a Web Blades. So ads will die, Web Blades happen, and the summons will come up. I'm really like dithering on which way we'll do this, but I don't really hate the version of it where we just sort of move, we bring the melee back this way as they're hitting the boss, and then harvest forward, and then just have Dream and Elba basically clarting this far one so that the shield goes down as quick as possible. I mean, lock CDs are right there, right? Just delete this ad as quick as you can, or get down its shield. In terms of how these summons work, you're going to be surprised by how many casts we can actually take. It's stacking per caster, if you get what I mean. So if we leave one for too long, that's way worse than having like all three do one cast, let's say. But we can go up to 2 casts, wanting to try and beat the third on any of these ads. But as with everything in the phase, it's like Control Chaos, right? They are the priority. So do switch to them and just cleave back onto Ansurek and whatever. Once we're cycling kicks on them, we can just cleave them down. There's no kick rotation. Do just contribute to this. It'll be cringe if people aren't keeping it in mind. It should be fairly simple, but you've seen this all before, right? Boss is going to end up back here, and then we'll just want some sort of movement. It's going to be best that Swift just roars or whatever, as another Web Blades will happen. Another Web Blades will happen, and we're looking to go through the portal. I think that's true anyway. No, it's not. They happen afterwards, sorry. So anyway, the only other thing to note about this bit of movement is there have been bombs that have been dropped from the 3 summons. Whenever you're rushing to the portal, you need to just be conscious of your movement. It causes nightmares if people accidentally run into the bombs. Do pay attention to that and whatever. Last thing about this moment is just the portal placement. You will have your marks, as I was sort of yapping about the other day. They'll be rolling throughout the thing. I'll tell you when to place them. Do keep them in mind. If it becomes kind of hard to get to them, we can try and do some shit with Memosini and whatever, but it gets a bit complicated telling people, communicating the syntax to it. It kind of requires Memosini to sort of just start managing people. So I don't want to do that at first, because, minimizing chaos in comms, but just as a pre-warning, I guess, like if this becomes cringe, getting people to good portal placements, we can just have Memosini auto-grip one of the 2 to X and just call the other one to go green. Cool, that's it. So Tattle, Dream, and Elba will be the ones picking up these 3. They're all people who can just blink over the ring in some way, so that's cozy, cozy, cozy. We're going to go through. It doesn't matter about going as late as possible. on this, the portal only collapses when a bomb goes through it. What I mean by that is when a bomb goes through it, it'll like condense the timing in which the portal remains active before it just collapses in on itself, which is a really tight timer. But since we've got everyone blinking over it, it's not too bad. Do just make sure you like go in as soon as possible here, as soon as that's clear, so that we can start spreading and rushing around. I will figure out the movement, because just looking at this now, it looks like it makes way more sense for Swift Aurorus out of here and for Long Tusker and Leodora to have just Windrush people in initially. But anyway, yeah, that, and then this is just a vague spread that you want to be holding to. It's just an indicative position thing, like in P1. Do just make sure you are spread. Prioritize making sure you don't overlap, because it'd be a cringe spot to lose anyone, and anyone else just sort of take real estate around the outside. The way the timings should work is that then the bomb people can quickly move back in and just pop them. This is like a vague cook. It doesn't matter hugely. As long as they're between blue and yellow, they can even, for the sake of the raid plan, actually be closer to blue, because as you'll see later on, the portal these guys will be taking will be here anyway. Just try and cluster them as best you can, vaguely there, you'll be fine. It's not the super thing. Right, and then we repeat again. It's just the same shit. The range will go back to the edge, the melee will be going here, you'll be baiting your puddles along here and along this edge. Boss will come to here, and I will put the ads out here. Once these ads spawn, we'll be getting Lust, so these should be way easier. Do still switch to them. Just manage the chaos, keep on top of it, minimize the risks of wipes, or minimizing any risk of wipes. I'll pull the boss slightly ahead of orange to guarantee that our spawns for the next ads are this set here, and as this is happening, we get shackles. There's been a web blades that's happened. Sorry, so I'll just talk you through this a bit slower. I'm sort of trying to keep it quick to, yeah, whatever. Infest will happen, and Lust will happen. You will want to still DPS the ads. As we finish those ads, we'll get a web blades happen, and as those web blades are going through, the Queen's summons will come up, and shortly after the Queen's summons are sort of spawned, Royal Condemnation happens, which is the shackles. So that's the sort of order of things. It sounds complicated and it's going to feel chaotic, but it's actually kind of procedural, right? And you can just sort of deal with them one by one. For web blades, just fucking dodge, right? And then once that condemnation happens, we'll have pulled the boss back to blue. The ranged will come into blue as well, and melee should be stacked here, while condemnation will go over to the nipple mark. And you guys do pixel stack this, or well, not quite. You know, you don't overlap amongst yourselves. Do make a little triangle, but you can be really tightly compacted. For this, it's just really important you have a personal assigned. If you're playing Royal Condemnation, have something that you keep back for it, just in case. It's an immense amount of damage. We will have an AMZ on both groups, and Rally, and maybe Aura Mastery. The timing's just kind of tight. But just use a personal there and you'll be fine. For the rest of the group, you should be fine with the amount that we're stacking into these CDs for you to be fine. It's just to keep your personals off. But we'll see, like throughout this phase, there's a lot of light shit that you might want to throw a personal into, like it might be worth putting a health stone before this bit if you notice that you're low, for example, or a personal into it, but there's nothing big except for Royal Condemnations. And as I put in the sort of personal CD thing, anyone who has played a bomb, some of your assignment on bombs is a sort of bit of trust that you can manage the debuff that you keep on yourself for the rest of the fight a bit better, right? Anyway, I got slightly distracted by the yap. Shackles have happened, and once they go off, we bring the, hopefully blue has already died, or at the very least is very, very low. We've brought the boss around and are dealing with both the shackles, the ad and Ansurek, all still with the end of Lust happening. just to help out the shackles, and we'll just keep. And then at that point, we don't actually keep going. I was about to say, we just want range to help finish off these two while the boss sort of stays around here, because not long afterwards, these bombs will go down. I'll repeat what I said last raid about how this bomb shit works. If any ads are still alive when the bomb cast is finished, also when the ring cast is finished, I should say, it'll be an instant wipe. So if we notice that ads are staying up too long, we need hard swaps, especially by ranged, but like melee as well, just rushing off to try and help out with these ads. Cool. Anyway, as long as we get through that, and the bombs are spawned, then it's just up to these bomb carriers, and I have no idea why I've sort of slept on Andre, so I'll probably I'll confirm that for later, but it's probably best to have Leonhardt as a backup, so you can actually see it live now. It'll be best to have Leonhardt as a backup and just do Andre doing the bombs. So we'll do that. Once this group get through, where Andre, Aloy, Harnum, and Incessant can all just get over the ring, they don't have to worry about playing the portal, and the rest of us have made it through fine, we're going to be super good. So Panda, Larry, and myself will need to come to the portal, and we want to try and take it as late as we reasonably can, because we're going to initiate a collapse, which will condense the time for everyone else. Everyone else, do just get the fuck through as soon as you can, as soon as you see that green's clear, to give you, so that we just minimize the risk of people being left behind by the portal. This is just the same spread as this. I just don't have time to do the useless thing of copying it. Just hold your same relative position to what you had before, and you'll be totally fine. So like Aloy is tacked, I'm this guy, Longtusk is this guy, you know, that sort of shit. The people who jumped over can move ahead of the group. Anyone who jumped over in general can just be away and around. You don't have a ring, you're so cozy. If we get to the stage of the fight, do just send a personal, a health pot, whatever you can to live, because we're at the like final burn now, so you dropping in this moment is grim. Once we've done this, there is 20 seconds when nothing happens. Anyone who didn't drop their essence around here, so myself, Panda, and Larry, will drop just behind the raid, and we'll all gateway to an edge. And during this time, this little switch here, there is 20 seconds when nothing happens. And this is the common kill point, currently on Prague. And with the amount of damage that we're doing, yeah, it's looking likely, as long as we don't have a P3 where we're like limping in, that we're killing it somewhere in this thing. We've just beaten the ring, and now we're just finishing the boss. In terms of how we play the rest of it, it's just the same as you've seen before. You know, whatever we're doing, there'll be an infest out to the edge. If we're super close to killing the boss, I'll just run the infest into China and whatever. Otherwise, we'll play it and we'll have to make a call there. But you've baited puddles along the edges, and then there's just another ad set where, depending on how close we are in damage, but it feels likely at this point, and so for the sake of not like vacillating and yapping forever, I'll basically just say it's very likely that at this stage we'll just call you to kill the boss. Just focus boss and finish it off. And that's it. Like, if we have to cover some of the tech for after this bit, we can. The basic choice we'd then have to make is whether we... No, sorry, we're already in that decision. I'm basically saying now that if we get to this point, we'll just be nuking the boss, and that'll be that. If that turns out to be too much of a struggle, then we'll have to do the tech where we kill the ads, and not bother with taking the bombs through the rings, but the bombs will basically want to be placed as close to the edges as they can, so that what our white point is when the ring collapses in and touches the first bomb. But I can talk about that if we need to. I'm so confident we don't. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, the prep is essential here to us getting this done this week. I love you all. It's been a great tier. Now let's just finish the fucking thing.